First question is, what's your name?
Hali, Atchinson.
What's your hometown?
Syracuse, Indiana.
And how'd you come to St. Mark's?
I actually ended up in work release, and that's how I came to St. Mark's. I heard about it from other people.
Okay. So, some icebreaker questions. What pastimes or activities, hobbies, do you have that cause you to just lose track of time?
Fishing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
I love fishing.
Where do you like to fish?
Wawasee Lake.
Okay.
Do you know where that is?
Mm-mm.
It's around Syracuse, my hometown.
Got it. What do you like to fish for?
Bass mostly, but I've caught a few pikes, and I didn't know that they had teeth.
All right.
And I tried to put my fingers in the mouth one time, and my mom was just like, "No, Haley, they have teeth." I'm like, "Oh."
Fish have teeth. I did not realize that either.
Well, pike do.
Okay, pike do.
Yes.
What got you into fishing?
Actually, one of my ex-boyfriends did.
Okay, cool. And so when you're taking your Sabbath and recharging, what's one thing that can instantly brighten your day?
I would like to say other people, like when they're in good moods and, try to bring each other up.
And then now we're getting into it. What's the story of where you've come from?
I had a good life, like growing up until I turned about 7 years old. And my parents had gotten, on and off drugs in and out of my life. Just doing crazy things. So my dad wasn't really in my life. I actually haven't talked. The first time I talked to him was probably about, I want to say a week ago. He's in Missouri prison now.
Oh, wow.
And I haven't talked to him in like 12 years.
Okay.
My mother, she just got out of work release in K County, but she's been sober a year now, and she talks to all of us kids. And she has a job. She has 2 jobs, and she got her GED. And just to see my mom, back on that route again, it's like I have my mom back, and that's God right there. Other than that, growing up, I lived with my grandma. My grandma did the best she could with us.
How'd that conversation go with your dad last week?
It went really well. He was crying a lot, but it's the first time we've talked for 12 years. I think it's really eye-opening, not only for him, but for me too. I got some closure, that's for sure, and some answers. Other than that, the conversation went really well. He's been calling me every day since.
Oh, wow, it's cool. After all that time, everything's starting to reestablish itself.
Definitely.
As far as the story of where you've come from, do you happen to know where God was in that story, or is that more of a question mark for you?
It's more of a question mark for me.
Okay.
More of a question mark, definitely.
What's the story of where you are right now?
I am currently in work release. I also had made bad decisions myself. I was, doing drugs, and just, dying every other day, because it wasn't just, meth, it was also the heroin. But with that being said, I am now in work release, and being in jail for that time, I detoxed off of everything, which sucked. But now I feel so much better, and I found God, and He's really been working in my life with big things.
Well, you answered the question I was going to ask you was, where's God in your story currently?
I more or less found God when I started coming to this church. I didn't really, honestly, before I came here, I wasn't really too much into the God thing. I almost felt like I didn't believe in Him, because, my past. But I soon realized that it's not Him that, made that pass for me. It was myself and my decisions. But since I started coming to St. Mark's, I've been baptized, and I've really found God, and I feel like I'm in this situation for a reason, so He could save my life.
What's the story of where you want to go?
I was actually thinking about, after I get my GED, and when I get out of work release, I do want to start going to Ivy Tech. I want to try to be a vet tech.
Nice.
Yes, I love animals.
Were you saying during prayer request this morning that you have your GED test this week?
Yes.
Okay, prayers for you.
Thank you so much.
All right, when you think about your story, those efforts where you flow in what God has for you, what do you want all of your efforts to lead to? In other words, what do you want God to say when he tells a story about you, when he brags about you?
That I've overcome my addictions, and that you can have a bad past, but you can always make a brighter future for yourself.
And what roadmaps? And by roadmaps, I mean like mentors, role models, stories, ideas, books, pop culture, whatever. What roadmaps have you been using for charting where God's taking you? Where do you draw inspiration from?
There's a couple things I'm drawing inspiration from. Definitely one of them is this church and Pastor Tony. Another one is my mom. Not only is she doing so good now, but she's also found God.
Nice.
And my grandmother as well. She's always been religious.
My question now becomes, where's your dad at in his walk?
Like with God? It's a good question. I haven't really asked him that. I do know that he believes in God. Don't know if he's like on the path, with him right now, which I'm actually going to talk to him about that when he calls me later. I'm hoping that he'll, find God a little bit more and, lead a successful life after he gets out of prison.
Going back once more to where you've been, what are some of the ways you've been involved in God's mission in the past? What are some of the ways that you've served, lives you've touched?
Okay, so I used to do youth group when I was in middle school, and it was with the Vineyard Church. There's this one specific, mission that we did, and I loved it. So we went to Cincinnati, Ohio. Ohio's where I'm from. I grew up there. But we went to Cincinnati, Ohio, and we went we got a bunch of groceries. We started handing out groceries to, all the people that needed it, and, people with kids and stuff. And it felt really good to do that. The smiles on their faces, and I love that.
Final question for you.
Okay.
If you had unlimited time and resources, what would be the thing you would want to go build or serve in or do? What's your vision? What are you passionate about? What do you have a heart for?
I'm passionate about telling others about God. I didn't used to be like that, but now I find joy in that. And I find joy in, helping people with their road to God, and, just having God speak through me to others. Mm-hmm. And I love that.